2 weeks ago, I was nobody. At least, that's what the world wanted me to believe. When my boss called me into his office, I thought it was to discuss a proposal I had been working on for months. Instead, he didn't even look me in the eye when he slid the termination letter across the desk. "We're moving in a different direction," he said flatly, his gold watch catching the light as if to remind me of the wealth he had, and I didn't. I left that office humiliated. 10 years of loyalty, of late nights and weekend sacrifice, and I was dismissed like yesterday's trash. My wife, Anna, wasn't pleased either. She tried to hide her disappointment, but I could feel it in her silence, in the way her eyes lingered on her phone instead of me. She'd married me for my ambition as much as for love, and suddenly, ambition had been ripped away. But life has a strange way of balancing its scales. 2 weeks later, after endless phone calls, sleepless nights, and one incredible stroke of luck, I landed a deal of a lifetime. An investor had been quietly following my independent work and offered me a contract worth $30 million to develop a project I had once pitched to my old company, an idea my former boss had laughed off. I remember staring at the contract, my hands trembling as I signed. I wasn't a failure anymore. I was free, powerful, and secure in ways I'd only dreamed. And all I could think about was how happy Anna would be, how relieved she'd feel. I wanted to see her face light up again, wanted to feel like her husband, her provider, her hero. So I drove home that night with a smile I couldn't contain, rehearsing how I'd tell her. Maybe I'd lift her into my arms, spin her around like I used to. Maybe we'd celebrate with champagne. Maybe even plan that trip to Italy she always talked about. But when I pushed open the door, the world I thought I'd regained collapsed again. Laughter drifted from upstairs. Not just laughter, his voice. I froze, every nerve in my body recognizing it. My boss, the man who'd fired me. I climbed the stairs slowly, my heart pounding so loudly I wondered why they didn't hear it. The bedroom door was half open. I nudged it wider, and there it was, my wife in our bed, tangled with him. The same bed where we had whispered promises, where I had once believed we were building a life together. My hands shook. I wanted to shout, to tear the world apart. But I stood there, silent, watching as my wife kissed the man who had destroyed me. And then she saw me. Her face went pale, her lips parted, but no words came out. He turned too, startled, then smirked as though he had already won this game. "Guess the loser came home early," he said. Something inside me snapped, but not in the way I expected. I didn't scream, didn't rage. Instead, I laughed, a hollow, sharp sound that filled the room and made both of them shift uncomfortably. "You really picked him?" I asked Anna, my voice steady but dripping with disbelief. "The man who fired me, who treated me like dirt, that's your choice." She tried to speak, stammering. "It's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like." I cut her off. "I'm looking at you. In our bed. With him. Tell me, what else am I supposed to see?" The boss, arrogant as ever, adjusted his shirt like he owned the moment. "Face it. She needed more than you could give. You're a dreamer. I'm a man who gets things done." That was the moment I pulled the signed contract from my jacket pocket, holding it up between us. His smug grin faltered. $30 million, I said calmly. That's what my so-called dreams just turned into. Signed. Sealed. Mine. The silence that followed was deafening. Anna's eyes widened, her mouth dropping open. My boss's face drained of color as realization hit him. You closed that deal," he muttered. "Yes," I said. "The same idea you rejected. The same project you fired me over. Turns out, someone smarter than you saw its worth." I turned my gaze back to Anna, her face twisted with regret now, tears brimming in her eyes. "You couldn't wait 2 weeks, could you?" I whispered. 2 weeks. And you betrayed me with a man who took everything from me. But here's the truth. You didn't take anything. You freed me. Both of you did. I dropped the contract on the dresser, just long enough for them to see my name on the dotted line, then picked it back up. My hands no longer shook. "You don't get to share this victory," I told her. "Not you, not him. From this day forward, you're nothing but a chapter 1 closed." I walked out of the room, out of the house, out of the life that had once defined me. I didn't need revenge. Their guilt, their shame, their hollow emptiness. That would be punishment enough. As I drove away, I thought about the irony. 2 weeks ago, I had lost everything. Tonight, I realized I had gained something far greater. Freedom from people who never deserved me. $30 million was life-changing. But the real treasure was knowing my worth had never depended on a job or on a woman who couldn't see my value. Sometimes, life burns down your house just to show you how strong you are when you start building again. And I was ready to build.